Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Shawn. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or commentaries, topics, reactions, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And Shawn wanted me to do a commentary on Animal House. 1978 film, massive hit. Pretty much after this film, you saw a slew of copycats that tried to ride the wave of this film. And not just copycats, but films similar. Up the Creek being one of them. There was a TV show called Delta House that didn't last too long. That had a few of the actors like Bruce McGill and Stephen Furst on it. What was that movie Teen Frat? A few other films, but anyway, let's get into the commentary. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As we have had the old Universal logo, and we got director John Landis, who had just done parts of the Kentucky Fried Movie. Blues Brothers would be after this, and then you would have American Wolf in London. Then he would kill a bunch of people in Twilight Zone the movie, but he still continued to get work, even though he murdered, 2 kids and Vic Morrow because of his old cocaine-fueled stupidity. But I mean, I did like Oscar with Sylvester Stallone. I don't mind Spies Like Us. I don't mind Coming to America. Now, definitely one thing that worked in this film was it has a really good cast. John Belushi. I keep wanting to say James Belushi, but that's the brother. James, John, two very different. So, I mean, John Belushi is the star of this, just like he was the star of the Blues Brothers. Yeah, but John, I keep wanting to say one or the other. But it's John Belushi, of course, in this. The Blues Brothers, Neighbors. Passed away, Sally, way too soon. Like Chris Farley, way too soon. Sorry for my throat there. John Belushi was a great talent, Saturday Night Live, and this, the Blues Brothers, I showed that he could have been a big star, and I guarantee you later in life he would have done a lot more dramatic work, like Robin Williams ended up doing, Jim Carrey did a bit of. Guarantee you John Belushi would have as well. In fact, I think Dan Aykroyd had him up for the role in Ghostbusters, and maybe if he was alive, he would have done Ghostbusters. Hey, I'd get to work with Dan Aykroyd again. Harold Ramis, the other guy who's passed away, helped write the film, who would go on to work and co-star in Stripes and Ghostbusters and was directed Groundhog Day. Of course, you have here, I want to say Tom Hulce, the one guy. I think he was the star of Amadeus. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm bad with names. I know the other guy with the hat is Stephen Furst. I remember as the deputy in Silent Rage with Chuck Norris. Sally Stephen Furst passed away, I want to say in 2017. This is a film from 1978, so a long time ago, and a lot of these folks have passed away. I mean, I already mentioned, John Belushi, Harold Ramis, who wrote it, Stephen Furst. Fuck you, lady. Wimp and a blimp. And I see a bitch with an itch. Called a bitch. This guy in the middle, I forgot his damn name. God. Yeah, I forgot his damn name. He would play the villain from time to time throughout this time period. I think he was a villainous character in One Crazy Summer. I wonder if this would hold up today, this type of The people we don't want. Well, I mean, they're supposed to be the asshole stool. So, of course, they'd be a bit racially intolerant, among others. And throughout these, you'd have a lot of these other movies that dealt with a college setting, Old School, for example, among others. And got a very, very young Kevin Bacon. I mean, this is before Friday the 13th. I think this is around the time he was in, I want to say it was a TV movie. It's the story, I forget the name of it, which is funny because I reviewed it long ago. The basis of the story would later be used in, I want to say it was The Conjuring 2 or 3. Was it 3? Might have been 3 actually. Conjuring 3. No, it was Conjuring 3. I think. God, my memory's getting so bad. The guy who killed someone and then he said it was possessed by the devil, and then there was this big court case. It was like the first court case that involved demonic possession. Again, I think that was Conjuring 3, but I don't know, it was the Devonsville I can't remember the damn title. Don't matter. I don't think it was that one, but anyway. So of course they're kicked out. Now they'll go into the Delta House. There's Belushi. Probably the most famous role he ever had, especially movie-wise. I mean, people could argue the Blues Brothers, but this seemed like the bigger hit. And nowadays, some people might not even know what the hell National Lampoon is. I mean, that was a satire magazine that was fairly popular among. You also had like Mad Magazine, then later on you had Crat, but National Lampoon. And then you go on to have other movies with the National Lampoon name attached to it. National Lampoon's Vacation and Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. And then by the time it got to the late 90s, it was like National Lampoon's TV, the movie. What was it, National Lampoon's Dorm Days or something? Like, really crappy, direct-to-video, low-budget films that no one remembered, barely anyone liked, and that kind of killed that whole... I can't remember the last time National Lampoon was ever used attached to a movie. Can I even remember it? Because he had this series of films that people saw and then they didn't like, and it's like, well, I'm going to stop seeing them because now the name's attached to equal shitty comedy, which wasn't the case back then. Because National Lampoon's Vacation and this film are really good. I think Loaded Weapon 1 is a fairly underrated one with Emilio Estevez and Samuel L. Jackson. And of course the beautiful Karen Allen. Always been a huge fan of Karen Allen, from Raiders of the Lost Ark to Starman to Scrooged with her and Bill Murray. She was one of the pleasures to see in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. She's not in the new one, which I can't say because it'd be a spoiler that I've heard, but anyway. I guess if you had a lead character, I mean, you would say John Belushi, or it'd be here Tim Matheson doing his nose hairs. And Tim Matheson would work a lot throughout the years. I think he was in Up the Creek. I believe it was him, playing a similar type of character. I think it was him. Also, you had a pretty decent movie called Buried Alive in the early 90s, made for TV. He worked with Chris Farley in Black Sheep. I think they played brothers. He was running for the political field. and then Chris Farley's character is trying to help with the campaign, but mess it up accidentally, so David Spade has to watch him. I do enjoy Black Sheep. That's a fun one. And then the guy on the left is Peter Rydert. Yeah, Peter Rydert. Which he was in films from time to time throughout this decade. I think he was in that movie Americathon with John Ritter. That no one remembers. Now that guy on the motorcycle, that's Bruce McGill. I do know that guy. Two films in particular I recognize him from. First off, yeah, that guy with the mustache on the motorcycle, he was Jean-Claude Van Damme's captain in Time Cop. He did a really good job in that movie. I also remember him in The Last Boy Scout. He was the guy that was sleeping with Bruce Willis's wife. And then Bruce Willis says the line, "Oh, what happened? You came over here, tripped over, and you did fell my wife? Oh, well, I guess it isn't my day." And then Bruce McGill's character had the phrase, the finger counter, how many fingers were cut off to sleep with her. He just blown up in the car. That was meant for Bruce Willis's character. But yeah, what made it work is they cast very well, and that helped tremendously. I mean, a lot of these people were gone to, like Belushi was the biggest star of this time with Saturday Night Live, but you know, like Kevin Bacon went on to be bigger. Karen Allen, again, a few years later, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Tim Matheson would have a career throughout a lot of films. And so forth. And yeah, this is the DVD, which is this is a really bad looking DVD cover. I mean, you could say this for 100 other releases, especially back in the DVD era. Like, why do they think people would buy? If you didn't know the film, why would they think people don't buy it because of this mess of a cover? And back in the day, it was like they would always have these things here: double secret, probation edition. I think like Time of Boy, they put something like that. That was what, Paramount. Holy Shnikey edition. And then features digitally remastered. The hot new music video shot remade by hit music group MXPX. Why? A all new mockumentary featuring the original cast, which I don't know if I even watched that. Animal House reunion. Some anecdotes about the original production of the film. Now, of course, the guy here talk is John Vernon. Who's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, Sally He's passed away. He was in Killer Clowns from Outer Space as the asshole police officer that didn't believe anything going on. Later turned to pretty much a human-sized ventriloquist doll by one of the clowns. He was also in Savage Streets, where he said the immortal line, "Go fucking iceberg." He also played a good guy in Blue Monkey, which is a film that I think it's a fun, little bit underrated creature feature. It has its flaws, but I do like it. It's on Blu-ray. I need to pick that up sometime. I love Belushi's reaction. Ah, it's a fun reaction. And this right here makes Tim Matheson's character a bit endearing, where everyone's making fun of this guy. Fine, this guy's a real zero. That's true. Look at you though. You had a pepperoni pizza as a freshman. We thought you were brain damaged. So it's like, okay, we have to make him endearing, but don't want to make it cringy. So it's like, yes, we know I'm not going to bullshit you. This guy's a loser, but hey, we're all losers. Kind of similar to a speech Bill Murray has in Stripes. We're all dogs. Who'd cry when old Yeller got shot? We're all stupid enough to join the army. We're American soldiers. We've been kicking ass. We're 10-1. Sorry. Flounder. Of course, this song, it was so many movies and even real life. I put 'em away. Oh, baby, we gotta go. Yeah, 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 yeah. I blew it away. Oh no, said we gotta go. This, and then later on, the Toda, Toda, this became part of the little bit of culture, at least for a while. Yeah, I don't know about nowadays. When so many things did fucking cancel nowadays. And also, this is why you have to, unless they're altered as well, which sometimes it happens, search for this physical product before getting Kevin Bacon getting spanked. Which some people may like that now if they watch this. I don't know, you have your own preferences. And we got Donald Sutherland, which I always forget he's in this. I mean, he was in the opening credit title, so. But I was like, oh yeah, he is in this movie. Kind of a, I think like a hippie-ish like teacher, from what I remember. Donald Sutherland, I mean, thankfully he is still with us, and such a great established actor. I mean, this is around the same time he was in the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was in Backdraft. He was in a film called The Puppet Masters. Ton of stuff. Outbreak. But I was saying with the world of today, with how things get canceled so easily, you never know, like, if whatever streaming platform this is on, if somehow this will be altered to be more, to be less toxic. I mean, there's what was the news the other day? Fox. I mean, Disney, because they own the Fox library, one of the films they own is The French Connection. And what happened was, on the showing on the streaming in the U.S., they edited out a piece of dialogue that was, the cops using racial tone, racial undercurrent, racial slurs. Which, I mean, that's the point, is that these cops are not the best people. They are representative of an era where this is how people were talking, and it's not condoning it. It's saying this is how it was, and you're altering it for no damn good reason, and just stupefying. Like I said, completely stupefying. Yeah, I apologize for my voice and all that. The throat is one of those days. You can't do that to our pledges. Only we could do that to our pledges. You just say with this kind of film, people would be like, okay, well, what is the actual plot and story? It's kind of just a series of events. But I mean, that's the whole point. The experience of this era, these posts in this college fraternity. Of course, a guy being a complete fucking bully because he knows he can get away with it. And of course, I guarantee you, Police Academy was able to get made because of the success of a film like this. They're like, you know what, instead of a college, what if it was a police academy? And, the first film like this was rated R. Like, people forget that, like, the first Police Academy film was rated R. Because, hey, Animal House was rated R, and that's how you need to sell those movies. There he goes on his horse. Okay, yeah, here's Don Sutherland. Yeah, you tell like his behavior. You got the peace sign on the in his room. Smoke some pot. Yeah, definitely more of a hippie. You got the guitar back there, everything between. Because while this came out in 1978, keep forgetting this is supposed to take place in the 60s. It's as if Dowsell is the devil. Which there has to be. I swear there's a movie that you played the devil. If not, that's a crying shame because he would be perfect playing the devil. Just like Robert De Niro played the devil in Angel Heart, and then Al Pacino did in Devil's Advocate. So if not, yeah, Dowsell would have been a perfect choice. I guess I'll mention this. Like, I never went to college. I will admit that. I graduated valedictorian in my high school, but then as soon as I graduated, uh, parts of my family wanted to move from Iowa to Texas the first time, and I went with to help them. And pretty much this way I did is went along to help them, quickly got a job, and then kind of went from there. Although I guess to be honest, I mean, while on the bad side, never got the college experience. On the good side, I've heard a lot of horror stories from people about like they have all this debt that they had because of the college experience, like all this money that they owed and all this money that they had to owe that took seemed like forever to pay off. I'm like, well, damn, man. I'm glad I never went through that. Apparently, it was just a lot of stress and turmoil on people. You know, there's some people that say college is overrated. There's some people say college is pointless. I mean, obviously, if you want to get in the bigger field, of course, but honestly, those bigger fields never interested me. Damn, this horse needs to take a damn chill pill for crying out loud. Horse is as much of an asshole as he is. I said, still as much of an asshole as he is. Now it's sad that I for remember at the end that he doesn't really get too much of a comeuppance onto this bad guy here, but because I think like he's ready to throw something, and then Niedermeyer's like ready to shoot him, but then a float hits him and carries him over. Would have been nice if Stephen First was able to get a bit more of a comeuppance onto this guy. You know, it is how it is. Look up some stuff. $7.4 to be. Budget around 3 million and box office. It is worldwide over 100 million worldwide. Let's see. Just want to look through what some of these people have done. John Belushi sadly passed away in 1982. Like I said, way too damn young. Because he only did Going South with Jack Nicholson, 1941, Blues Brothers, and then his last film was Neighbors in 1981. And then Tim Matheson, he After this would do the Apple Dumpling Game, Rise Again. Oh, he was also 1941. Up the Creek, so he was in that. Fletch, Drop Dead Fred, Black Sheep, I mentioned. Van Wilder. I think had some success on TV. Was he on The West Wing? I want to say he was. Yeah, from 1999 2000. I guess he was in like 20 episodes of that. Wolf Lake that lasted a year. Tom Hulse, the guy I was talking about, he was in Amadeus, right? Yeah, he was. He played Mozart in Amadeus. I thought he had. Oh yeah, this is a pretty. This is kind of one of the wanty things that you find out that the horse had a heart attack. So they think he shot him, but instead he had a heart attack. The reaction of the actors what makes the scene work. Although the visual of them tearing it out and you see like the horse, I think you see the horse legs sticking out. Yeah, Kevin Bacon. I'm trying to. What was the film I was thinking of? Uh, double check. It was a TV movie. I know it was for TV. The Demon Murder Case. That's what it was called. The Demon Murder Case. And probably of all the actors, he's probably the one that had the most successful career out of everybody on this. Because Friday the 13th, Diner, Footloose, Planes, Trains, Automobiles had a cameo in it. She's having a baby. Tremors, Flatliners, JFK, A Few Good Men, Apollo 13, Stir of Echoes, Hollow Man, Mystic River, Death Sentence, Frost Nixon, X-Men First Class, Black Mass, and apparently he's going to be the villain in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. So it's like, whatever the fuck that is. But yeah, I can't say I'm big on all that shit. Sorry, just answering a message as well. Someone's not feeling well, so I'm wishing them the best. I mean, just take the whole cafeteria. How about that? God damn. Forgot how much shit he took. Hey, son of a bitch. Yeah, he just swallows this whole, right? Yeah. God damn. Yeah, I try to think to just. Oh yeah, that he does. That's right. He does his impression of a zit. Just what I'm doing. I'm also trying to look up trivia for this. Great. I'm glad you know how to spell pig. Sure, that was hard for you. I'm a zit. Yeah, Sally just he had that fire exuberance and energy to become even a bigger star. And yeah, he had done some films like was it Continental Divide that wasn't huge moneymaker smashes, but there's a lot more he could have done. It says his performance in the whole scene was entirely improvised. When he began piling food on his tray, the director urged the camera to just stay with him, and the zit dad was improvised. Reaction from the cast is completely genuine. Donald Sutherland was so convinced of the movie's lack of potential that when offered a percentage of the gross or a flat fee of 75,000 for his 3 days of work, he took the upfront payment. Had he taken the gross percentage, he would have been getting $3 to $4 million. Babs becomes a tour guide at Universal Studios. The credits for this and other John Landis films contain advertising for a tour of Universal Studios, and the ad says, "Asked for Babs." I guess the final parade sequence was shot on the Universal backlot. So there you go. And sorry about this, just had to get some info to some people. I didn't even think of like there's another film, of course, that was definitely inspired somewhat by films like this. Revenge of the Nerds, of course, which that had its own franchise of ultimately four films. One and two were theatrical, then three and four were pretty much made for cable. I do wonder if I think if John Belushi was alive today, I really do believe there would have been some sequel. It'd be like a reunion. I don't know, Animal House reunion or something like that. I guarantee there would have been. It probably would have been, I don't know, 20 years later. Yeah, probably, or something like that. I mean, yeah, I could just see that happening. Very lovely breasts. Which you don't see a whole lot of that unless it's maybe a film trying to be some artsy fartsy stuff, but like comedies, things of that nature, you don't see a whole lot of this type of titillation because it would be considered too sexist. Especially seen like this, it'd be toxic masculinity and all this other stuff. And how dare the woman defile herself? And there's Belushi, pretty much telling the audience, you know what you want to see. Beautiful to look at, though, I will say. I don't know how the hell she doesn't see Belushi, though. Was it a one-way mirror where she's looking at too? Like, how did she not see a guy right in front of her staring at her for this long? Like, such a big window. You think there'd be at least some type of glimpse. You missed the show. Yeah, nowadays you wouldn't be able to get away with stuff like that because they're getting too toxic and all that jazz. Well, why do you keep mentioning stuff like that? Because it's part of the sad culture of today. Like I said, Disney, they took French Connection, they edited some stuff out. There's probably other films that were edited out for that type of content. And someone said the best: if they could do it once, they could do it twice, and if they do it twice, what's to stop them? Any number of things could have happened, will happen. The fact they did in the first place. That's the thing when you get some of these streaming platforms, and then it'll become just some of them will give way, or some of them will be like, you know what, we need to sell this off, and then get to a point there'll only be a few streaming platforms, and we control the narrative, so we can do whatever we want. If you want to see these films at all, you gotta see it through us, through our way of thinking. Which is why then people would just either go back and buy older DVDs on eBay or something of that nature, or it's the internet. And with the internet, things live on forever, so they'll find ways to watch unaltered films, but then they have to do it in the bootleg fashion or that sort of thing. Which is supposedly what they don't want you to do, but you're forcing people to do it. They were set up. Look what creeped in. You said you're a tool. Maybe preferably a hoe. If not, then maybe another tool. But John Vernon definitely had the feel, the voice, and the antagonistic stature to work well as a villain. And what else had John Vernon had done? Like I said, Killer Comes from Outer Space, Blue Monkey, Savage Streets. I didn't know he was a Canadian actor. Oh yeah, he was the mayor in the original Dirty Harry. That's right. That's right. Herbie Goes Bananas, Airplane 2, the sequel. I forgot he was in Ernest Goes to Camp. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker as Mr. Big. That's the one I was thinking of. He did a voice in Heavy Metal, the 1981 animated film. He was the prosecutor in that trial bit. And sadly, he passed away in 2005, age of 72. Of course, we passed that whole bit with the Toga, Toga. That's pretty good. Like he's doing a pretty good job catching all the stuff in one go. Like catching stuff with one hand, and of course, got a little bit too much for him to handle. But for a while, it was still fairly good. Come on, man. What are you doing to the poor guy? He's sticking out like he's got a damn beer belly. I don't. It's hitting on the dean's wife. You won't tell? I mean, if you don't tell, it's found out, you don't get fired. Because that's a shitload of fucking money to lose. Because I bet those meat don't cost nothing. Here we have the Toga party. I don't know why the fuck you'd ever want to wear a toga anyway. They seem like just shitty fucking clothes to wear. I would guess that's the point. One go, it's all gone. Especially for the ladies. Oh, sorry. What was that with the wardrobe malfunction? I still remember that whole bit with the wardrobe malfunction. Was it Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson during the Super Bowl? And then it was like, well, was it really an accident? Did they do it on purpose? But then Janet Jackson got all the flack and Justin Timberlake didn't. It was a plan, but it backfired, and then they, I don't know. That's a bad idea. I think he's going to steal the guy's girl. Oh, I remember. I think this is one of my favorite bits coming up with this whole guitar thing. Just the way Belushi is like, just his whole reaction to it. Almost like, what the fuck is this? Is this really happening? Well, fuck this. I hate this shit. Sorry. Damn, she's chugging that alcohol on. Damn. Odysee and the Knights. I heard something that Odysee, like this guy got so popular with this movie that he actually changed his name to Odysee. I don't know if that's true, but it would be the first time. You know, Ultimate Warrior, when he was alive, he changed his name to Legally Warrior. I'm sure there's other people that have done it as well. But it's one of those things that then people just kind of look at you and then they don't take you that seriously. But I guess in this case, it's like maybe by this point they didn't know who he was in reality. So they figured, oh, well, he's just a real singer. They get him in there, just like, Austin Powers had, oh, here's Barry Manilow, or here's blah, blah, blah. And, oh, here's Wayne Newton as Wayne Newton, or something. So, okay, they just got a real band in there, and you be yourselves, and so I guess I can understand that case. Because here you get that song, Shout. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, John Landis, who directed this, he would try to be more musically inclined to the Blues Brothers, pretty much the next film he did, also with Belushi. Even, the music choices he would have in American Wolf in London. He even had people singing and dance at the beginning of Beverly Hills Cop 3 in the Chop Shop, which was so did not work. Did not fucking work at all. Like, come on now. And then tried to do that sequel, Blues Brothers 2000, with his musical numbers. A little bit softer now. Then there's going to go, a little bit louder now. A little bit louder now. I mean, when you watch the film, it looks like people have a lot of fun. And I think that becomes infectious to the audience. Where you see people seem like they having a ton of fun, a complete utter ball here. It's like, oh wow, you kind of wish you were in that group, or you wish you were part of the group, or you wish you were. I think when a film like that works, that's why it can become fairly successful because you live vicariously either through the characters or you feel like you're with the characters and you're having a ball like they are. I think also like the Police Academy films, a lot of them, were entertaining, fun. You like the characters. And, yeah, it seemed like they were just having fun making the movie, and that become somewhat infectious. Ah, the dean's wife. Yeah, she really did like that invitation. Yeah, just go ahead and just drop my phone. Why don't I? That's another thing that would get this film canceled. The Confederate flag back there. I mean, even to the point that they take off Dukes of Hazard, the TV show, because the Confederate flag is on the General Lee car. So they took, it's a very popular show that people of all creed, color, race, gender watched, but because of that, now you can't see the show, and well, it's the internet. You can always find the show, but still, I forget why did he put mustard on him. I'm trying to remember why he just what is that, mustard or cheese? I forget what the hell that was. I gotta say this guy's pretty ballsy to try to make it with the dean's wife, but he's for him he's like I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna try regardless. If it works, it works. Hey, she's a good-looking lady, so go for it. Definitely the success of films like Porky's and this movie led to a lot more of these raunchy movies coming out. And then much later, when American Pie was such a huge success, then you found a resurgence of those kind of movies to the point you had films like, what was it, Tomboys, among other films like that. Because of the success of American Pie, I think even American Pie has that little bit of energy and nod to the days of Animal House. But I said I think they had the right cast. They had the right exuberance and energy. Despite what I say about John Landis, at this time he knew what he was doing in terms of comedy. Because then you looked at this film, you looked at Kentucky Fried Movie is a fun movie. You look at it, he knew what he was doing. As I said, I like Oscar with Sylvester Stallone. I think that's a fairly entertaining movie, but just don't like him as a person. Damn. Just throw that gun away. Gum, not gun. If it was a gun, it'd be a different thing. That gum away. Oh, shit. Well, close but no cigar. I forgot this had the whole devil angel on the shoulders. I completely forgot about this whole scene. Completely forgot about it. Don't leave her damn shopping cart. Oh, it's the mayor's daughter too. I just saw the mayor, or up for mayor. Mayor Carmine DePasto. Ah, so oh, it's the same wife. Delta probation hearing to vacacious Sarasota Springs. Guess she wants a bit more fun like she had before. Let me see if I look up some info on Wikipedia about the making of this stuff. Because it's kind of hard to talk about because like visually there's not much to really say. I mean, it's a college campus movie. The shots are supposed to be pretty basic. There's nothing extravagant with the cinematography or the camera work. The acting, I think they all work for what they're needed to do for the characters they're portraying. Filming took place at the University of Oregon, October to December 1977. Got mixed reviews when it came out. In 2001, the U.S. Library of Congress deemed National Lampoon's Animal House culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. It was number 1 on Bravo's 100 Funniest Movies. It was number 36 on AFI's 100 Years, 100 Laughs list of the 100 Best Comedies. And Empire Magazine in 2008 called it number 279 of the 500 Greatest Movies of All Time. National Lampoon was the most popular humor magazine on college campuses in the mid-70s. It satirized the politics and popular culture. Let's see. Harold Ramis drew from his own fraternity experiences as a member of Zeta Beta Tau fraternity at Washington University in St. Louis. He was working on a film treatment about college called Freshman Year, but the magazine's editors were not happy with it. Kenny and Harold Ramis started working on a new film treatment where Charles Manson is in high school calling it Laser Orgy Girls. Obviously that didn't happen. They reworked it. They saw the film's 1962 setting as the last innocent year of America, and the homecoming parade that ends on the film as occurring on November 21st, 1963, the day before President Kennedy's assassination. They agreed that Belushi should star in it, and Harold Ramis wrote the part of Bluto specifically for the comedian, having been friends with him, Chicago's second city. Ivan Reitman initially wanted to direct, but he had only made one film. So John Landis, who got his job from the writing of Kentucky Fried Movie. The initial cast was to feature Chevy Chase as Otter, Bill Murray as Boone, Brian Doyle Murray as Hoover, Dan Aykroyd as D-Day, and John Belushi as Bluto. But only Belushi was interested. Chevy Chase turned down the role in favor of foul play. John Landis stated he was not interested in directing a Saturday Night Live movie and that Unknowns would be a better choice. Dan Aykroyd was already committed to Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels threatened to fire Dan Aykroyd from the show's cast if he took the role of D-Day, which ultimately went to Bruce McGill. But then Dan Aykroyd said Lorne Michaels permitted him to do it, but he ultimately chose to stay behind Saturday Night Live so not to leave Lorne Michaels understaffed. John Lenz met with Jack Webb of Dragnet to play Dean Wormer, and then Kim Novak of Planet of the Apes to play his wife. Jack Webb turned it down because of concerns over his clean-cut Dragnet image. He later said he didn't find the script funny. So ultimately, John Vernon was cast as John Landis had saw him in The Outlaw Josie Wales. The food fight was filmed in one shot with the actors encouraged to fight for real. By filming the long courtroom scene in one day, John Landis won a bet with Ivan Reitman. The film's budget was so small during the 32 days of shooting, John Landis had no trailer or office and could not watch dailies for 3 weeks. The original cut of the movie was a lengthy 175 minutes. Damn, 175, that's 20... That's like almost 3 hours long. More than an hour was dropped. The deleted scenes included John Landis' cameo as a cafeteria dishwasher who tries to stop Belushi from eating all the food. John Landis is dragged across the table and thrown to the floor by Belushi, who then says, "You don't fuck with the Eagles unless you know how to fly." A scene where Boone and Hoover tell Pinto the tales of legendary Delta House frat brothers from years before, who had names like Tarantula, Bulldozer, Giraffe, and his girlfriend, Gross K. 2 different deleted scenes with Otter and a couple of his girlfriends. One played by Sonny Johnson, listed in the credits as Otter's co-ed, although her scene was deleted, and the other played by location scout Catherine Wilson. The deleted scene can be seen in the trailer. An extended version of the scene where Bluto pours mustard on himself and starts singing "I Am the Mustard Man." So that's why he poured it on himself. There's supposed to be a longer scene. And of course, other scenes as well. The film inspired a short-lived half-hour ABC TV sitcom Delta House, in which John Vernon reprised his role as the long-suffering Dean Wormer, and played Stephen Furst as Flounder, Bruce McGill as D-Day. Michelle Pfeiffer made her acting debut in the series. And then there's another sitcom, Co-Ed Fever, set in the dorm of a formerly all-female bachelor college. Aired on CBS February 1979, but canceled before airing any more episodes. The film's writers planned a film sequel set in 1967, but Universal rejected because the sequel to American Graffiti had flopped. I think that was called More American Graffiti. Yeah. That no one remembers that got a sequel. A Set Yet Dead sequel was made in 1982 with producer Matty Simmons. That saw some of the Deltas return to Faber College 5 years after the events of the film. Got no further than the first draft script. Yeah, on the Where Are They Now DVD, is like, oh, well, Peter Ryder's character is a film editor and documentarian on his third marriage to Karen Allen's character. He has a son named Odysee. The dean's wife, her husband, John Vernon, accepted the blame for the parade debacle, was secretly fired, leading to the divorce. Of course, Bluto became the president and Mandy the first lady of the U.S. Actually, Porky's was after this, so yeah, Porky's was probably inspired by this movie, because that was '81. Police Tammy films, Old School, among others. Yeah, so there you go from that. Just showing you what's going on. There's that knife right there in center. In case you want to fuck with me. Yeah, don't mess with me, man. We'll stitch up your ass. Up your T-hole, derriere. Yeah, I'm putting the new moves on him now. Sorry, I'm not saying much. Trying to think what else to talk. Because again, it's one of these comedies that kind of just. I probably have seen maybe 4 times in my life. I'm thinking maybe like the first time I saw it and liking it, probably when I first got the DVD, now, and there might have been one time in between, but yeah, probably has been maybe like 4 times now that I've seen the film. So it's not like a film I rewatched over and over and over. I didn't grow up with the film. I didn't watch it when I was a kid. I watched it much, much later in life. It probably was somewhere on cable that I first saw the film, which would have been probably the early 2000s. Yeah, I think they're pretty much told to get the fuck out. What is he, 8 feet tall? Like, damn, he's a big guy. His hand is about as big as her head. Damn. Did a deuce of has ride into the other car? Yeah, I don't know if this scene would be in a movie today either. Especially the. Not even want to say the word. You took our dates. Would be considered inappropriate today. Let's say in a film like this, like in a way with quote the traditional story, some would say that maybe it shouldn't work because I guess you could say one of the few follow through storylines is this whole Peter Ryder, not Nancy Allen, what am I talking about? Karen Allen, Nancy Allen's RoboCop. Karen Allen, will they be together? Won't they be together? And then maybe like Stephen First trying to, and Tom Hulce as the new recruits, getting a bit more and more into the group. But in a way, on the flip side, has that we don't know what's going to happen next energy to it. Anything could happen. So yeah, have you this whole thing with the bar scene there. Let's have the whole thing with the all the other shit going on. So Babs, that's the one who had the Universal tour guide, became that later on, character wise. Yeah, so much for that damn. This is another one of my favorite bits. Belushi trying to get him happy. It is kind of like a Harpo Marx thing because he has no dialogue. He's like going to do it with all of with no words. Hey, look what I can do. No, nothing, huh? Here's another beer. That'd be hard for me to keep a straight face with that. You fucked up. You trusted us. Now make the best of it. Fuck Fred. Let's retell him. Fuck Fred. Fred's dead. Better than the truth. Nah, I'm not sure that was actually Karen Allen's buttocks or if they had another person do that. Because you never know. Some it might be like a stunt. Because some is like I don't really want to show it. Okay, we'll get someone else to do it. Well, you two are broken up, so what does it matter? You tried going on a date before. It is downselling the was the one professor she likes. So yeah, that's one of his. You definitely know that's his butt. Calm down, man. What did Care Bear do to you? Choking that Care Bear like you choking your chicken. Calm down, man. So I guess this is the other like follow through story. The grade reports. Nice old fashioned cars from back in the day. Oh damn, they're ready to just go to town on this guy. There you go. Yeah, it's time to get the fuck out immediately. Retreat. Yeah, I think they find him beaten up, and so then they want revenge on these guys. So yeah, this is Bruce McGill, the two new recruits, and Belushi himself. But sort of the underdog, the reckless, the slobs versus snobs, the underdog against the establishment, everything in between, which you would have in a lot of these various movies, whether it be Revenge of the Nerds as the underdogs, Stripes, where you have once again, the underdogs going up against the establishment like Warren Oates and the military. Uh oh. See, that's a way of doing a puke joke, but you get the joke, but you don't have to see the stuff. Like, you get the reaction of the people, maybe even the sound effect. But it's a way of doing that type of joke on a reasonable level that I could deal with. Like, I don't need to see the actual. That's kind of the American Pie films. They try to go even further, and shock value is like if it was American Pie, you would see that kind of stuff among other movies of that ilk. It's like that type of gross out humor I'm not into. Of course, I'm sure the 7 years of college is also put in there to show why he seems a bit older than the other people. Because I think he was maybe 28 by the time he did this film, somewhere around there. Ooh, shit. But yeah, this is where you see the camaraderie of these folks to get revenge on one of their fallen. Uh, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to get some stuff done, so I am paused at the 1 hour, 27 minute, and 3 second bit. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And sorry about that. I had to get some stuff done, just how it is with the way things are. So now, of course, we have our heroes at their lowest of the low. You have your lead guy getting beaten up, and seems like the Jots will get away with it. What's this lying around horse shit? There's the bid speech. It was over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. He's like, Germans? For the 80s rolling. The tough get going. Exactly. Yeah, they didn't buy into it. You'd have a similar. You have a similar thing. I remember in Meatballs, which is definitely inspired by this. Like, okay, what if Animal House took place at a summer camp? And you have Bill Murray. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if we win or lose. He's right. Psychotic, but he's right. Yeah, if you have nothing to lose, then might as well go for broke. But I was saying before the whole slobs versus snobs and all that stuff. I mean, Meatballs, Caddyshack, those are like for a good chunk of the time period, the successful formula. Even to you, Summer Rental with John Tandy, you have the normal everyday family against the rich snobs, played by Richard Crenna, and the whole boat race thing. And even to this day, it's a very good winning formula because people can relate to the underdogs. There's a lot more people that are underdogs and may not look pristine. There's a lot more of them than rich snobs. And we can relate to them and understand them and root for them and maybe again live vicariously through them. What? I forgot that bit. She's only 13? I for what? That definitely what? I didn't remember that at all. That's kind of a fucking I don't know about that joke. But it gives you the reaction. Got everyone look like they're ready for the Secret Service. Yeah, this is the whole parade setting for our big old finale. How much would 10,000 marbles cost? It's a lot of fucking marbles. I mean, comedies in general, I said, in a way, they're the simplest review to make. It's either funny or it's not funny. If it's funny, then it did his job. If it's not funny, then it did do his job and it failed. Of course, comedies, like everything else, is subjective. Now, my favorite comedies would be The Golden Child is my all-time favorite comedy. There's a lot of movies to choose. It's hard to break it down to just a top 10. Golden Child will always be number one for me. I think within the top 10, The Big Lebowski would be in there somewhere, because I love that film. I really like Clerks. Before Kevin Smith lost his mind, I do like the first Clerks. I still find it hilarious. Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Honestly, I would put next movie in the same tie frame. So I put those two in the same rank. Where it would be, I don't know, but those two would be a tie in my top 10. I really like Three Men and a Baby. I really like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I really like Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I really like Stripes, as well as Ghostbusters. God, it's hard. Yeah. There's so many though I'm leaving out, and that's what. See, No Evil, Hear No Evil. I gotta put in there somewhere. I mean, that's already like 10 or more than 10. It's tough to just make do that much, man. And these people dressed in these trench coats look like they're ready for the porno theater. I like that nobody up front is thinking this is a bit weird and wants to take action. Like nobody in the crowd like saw that and said, you know what? Something's a bit wonky with this, so let's just follow them blindly. Probably no one saw where they're going. No one understand. No one apparently has any common fucking sense to. Maybe we shouldn't go into this alley. Like no one can see that there's a dead end. But I mean, I guess that's the point of it. Is not supposed to take it that literally. Just a bunch of damn lemmings. Then nobody would. Nowadays, people just go in, fucking tackle and fight and stop this shit. But that's nice to have the water coming out on the mouths and ears of this thing. Now that bit there when John Verne is like, "What the fuck's going on?" That is Kevin Smith stole that shot from Mallrats, because during the whole finale, there's a Michael Rooker pulls a guy down and literally says, "What the fuck's going on?" in the same exact way, and that was absolutely a reference to Animal House and the same company, Universal. That might have been also the inspiration for like what happened to them later, like the Animal House. Like Animal House, Bluto went to the White House. At the end, you see that at the end of Mallrats. These two people got married at Universal Studios, which was part of the ending of this. Jason Lee went on to do this. I mean, John Letts definitely has a taste for, at this point, big set piece finales. I mean, all the car crashes, the Blues Brothers, even the bit in London, American Wolf in London, the double decker bus, and all that stuff. People crashing through windows while the werewolves going through those the streets. That almost was like the Adam West Batman car with a stovetop hat on it. Oh my god. Yep, there you go. There you go. Total fucking chaos. And Kevin Bacon just loses his mind. Poet Defender, Baltimore, Maryland. Editor of National Lampoon magazine. So that's what Tom Hulce did. Then went on to play Amadeus. I don't know if many films did this, at least comedy wise, did this thing where they show a little bit of like what happened to these characters later on. You see a lot more of this afterward, but I don't know if you saw that much of it before this point. The Nixon White House aide had his fun in prison. Of course, a gynecologist. Probably made a lot of money from that too. I think D-Day, like, he went missing. You don't know what happened to him. Yeah, this is where I was thinking of, like, he gets the gun and then Stephen First wants to attack him, but it doesn't work out. Now that bullet went through the glass, but it would have went through any number of those people behind the glass, so he would have killed or wounded someone. Killed in Vietnam by his own troops. Apparently in Twilight Zone the movie, if you listen closely, you hear people, oh man, we killed Niedermeyer. Sensitivity trainer encounter groups. I know D-Day, like, he disappeared. No one knows what happened to him. Whereabouts unknown. And yeah, this is where Taryn Allen's like, did the food team. And I know they got married, then later on got divorced. By probably the Where Are They Now, they got remarried again. And the Where Are They Now a bit. Yeah, married, divorced. But there you go. I thought it had the Babs Universal Cities Tour theme, but yeah, there you go. Tour guide, Universal Studios Hollywood. Marching band still stuck in that alley to this day. I try to remember if we had seen this. This might have been the girl who was staring at in the window. Senator and Mrs. John Plutarski. I think the Where Are They Now, you find out that he later became president. Animal House. Boom, boom. Mark Metcalf, that's the bad guy. Niedermeyer, that was his name. But yeah, I think they did that because, by the end of the film, they've been kicked out of college, so maybe that would seem like a downer. But if you know that, for the most part, things work out for them, then it's not as much of a bummer, so to speak. So, sorry if this wasn't as much as some people think, but I mean, it's one of those films that speaks for itself. It's a fun comedy. It's entertaining. It's one of those things where you're either in for it or you're not. I looked into it. The yearbook, it says Animal House Reunion. It's a 45-minute making of. We have Marty Simmons, the producer, Harold Ramis, the writer, John Landis, the director. I forget when this DVD was made. It was 2003. So yeah, I guess around 2003. So yeah, Ivan Reitman, who produced, and that's another thing. Ivan Reitman passed away. Hal Ramis passed away. Chris Belushi's passed away for a long time. Stephen Furst has passed away. But yeah, Harold Ramis and Ivan Reitman. So toss with them and how they got the project. Head of production saying yes to making the film. And then the actors. I forgot this. They had. It had this many actors involved. Which. Let me look through it. Peter Ryder, he's interviewed. Taryn Allen, I forgot she was interviewed for this. Stephen Furst. Kevin Bacon. Oh, the guy who played Hoover, the guy, James Widows. John Vernon, I forgot he was interviewed. Tim Matheson. Mark Metcalf, who played the villain. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of people for this. And yeah, Bruce McGill, he's interviewed. Man, they got as many as they could. So yeah, it's definitely worth a look. 45 minutes, so I'm not sure if that's on the Blu-ray. I would assume it is. I would assume it is on the Blu-ray. I don't have the Blu-ray of this. I just have this DVD. Maybe I'll pick that up one day. But with that said, thanks once again to Shawn for your kindness. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.